Hey everyone, welcome to Always Intense, where real ships face real danger. Steel bends, storms roar, and the ocean reminds us who's in charge. Every moment you're about to see actually happened, caught on camera, or confirmed by crew logs. Stay ready. Out here, safety isn't a choice, it's survival. The Russian oil rig Korskaya was being towed through the icy Okhotsk Sea when the storm struck. Winds howled at 70 knots, and freezing waves tore the rig apart. Within minutes, it capsized. Only 14 of the 67 on board survived. A chilling reminder that even giants of steel bow to nature. Old passenger ferries once connecting the city of Izmir were retired and sunk intentionally to form an artificial reef. They now rest beneath turquoise waters, attracting marine life instead of commuters. A quiet transformation from transport to underwater sanctuary. The sea always finds a new purpose for what we leave behind. When Ever Given ran aground in the Suez Canal, the entire world stopped. Billions lost per day as hundreds of ships lined up, waiting for passage. One misjudged maneuver under high winds caused a global chokehold. A single mistake and trade itself froze in time. Two racing boats collided at over 100 mph during the Key West Offshore Championships. Engines roared, hulls shattered, yet both crews miraculously survived. Cameras caught the chaos, the rescue, and the silence after impact. At sea, adrenaline paced in broken fiberglass. The fishing vessel Rhapsody was being launched at a Queensland dock when the supports collapsed. Within 5 seconds, it tipped and smashed into the water sideways. No injuries, but total loss. Proof that precision on land is just as vital as skill at sea. Two barges lost control in Brisbane's raging flood currents and slammed into the Gateway Bridge. The footage shows steel snapping, concrete cracking, raw power of moving water, no crew aboard. but millions in damage. When rivers turn wild, even cities tremble. Captain Francesco Schettino steered the Costa Concordia too close to shore. The hull ripped open, flooding the ship in minutes. 32 lives were lost. A cruise turned catastrophe. Overconfidence at sea always costs more than pride. A cargo ship misjudged its distance, tearing down a massive container crane. Metal twisted. Sparks flew. Alarms echoed across the dock. Miraculously, no one was injured. Every port worker watching knew one wrong move, and gravity wins. Two riders sped dangerously close to cargo ships for viral clips. The wake flipped one jet ski, nearly trapping the rider under the hull. Coast Guard intervened seconds before disaster. The sea doesn't forgive stunts, only lessons. Caught on camera, the Sea Princess drifting uncontrollably into a bridge during monsoon winds. The hull scraped concrete but stopped inches before collapse. The crew later said, "We got lucky, pure luck." Sometimes that's all that stands between life and loss. A sightseeing boat struck the pier near the Tower of London after losing control in current. Several passengers suffered minor injuries, but no fatalities. Calm waters can turn cruel without warning. Every captain knows never underestimate the Thames. The ferry Masaccio was docking near Stromboli Island when a sudden wind shift pushed it off course. The impact damaged the pier, but the crew kept calm. No one hurt. But a reminder, nature makes the final decision. Even the smallest gust can rewrite a plan. Two river ferries lost steering and crashed into a bridge on the Chao Phraya River. The structure gave way in seconds, sending debris into the water. No casualties. But a wake-up call for safety inspections. Infrastructure and nature an uneasy alliance. The yacht Serenity began taking on water in heavy seas off Shetland. 2 sailors were rescued by a nearby fishing boat before the yacht went under. Cold, soaked, but alive. The North Sea showed mercy that night. At Levanger Marina, the cargo ship Cyprus Cement ploughed through docked boats after losing engine control. Wood splintered. Alarms blared. Chaos on calm water. No one hurt. But the footage is jaw-dropping. Even a moment's error with heavy tonnage means destruction. A sudden rogue wave struck off Hokkaido, swallowing multiple fishing boats in seconds. Rescue helicopters found only debris floating in foam. For those who live by the sea, loss is never far away. Nature doesn't give second chances. The cargo vessel MV Haitian battled a violent storm during ship-to-ship operations. Winds above 80 knots, waves crashing over the deck. The crew fought for hours, all survived. But the footage chills the spine. True strength isn't defying the sea, it's enduring it. The Meteor 249, a modernised hydrofoil passenger ship, made its first voyage after full upgrade. With twin Eman engines, it glides across the Volga like a flying blade, proof that technology and tradition can coexist. Speed meets elegance, but the ocean must still be respected. The ships you've seen from Kolskaya to Haitian remind us that the ocean is both beauty and danger. Every wreck teaches something. Every rescue proves human courage. Thank you for watching Always Intense Real Stories. Real seas. Remember, respect the rules. Wear your gear and never fight the tide. Protect our oceans because the sea forgets no one, but it remembers those who care. But the ocean never pauses. Beyond this moment, another ship is already facing the next trial. Different waters, different crews, the same unforgiving force. And once again, the sea will decide who makes it through. Welcome back to Always Intense, where real storms meet real courage. Today, we dive into 20 real disasters at sea, moments where steel, sea, and human will collide. Each wave tells a story, and every survivor has faced the ocean's fury. Off the coast of Normandy, the tugboat Liberty rushes through rough waves to save the massive Federal Miramichi. Engines roar, ropes tighten one wrong move, and both ships are gone. Thanks to quick thinking and grit, the crew pulls off a rescue against all odds. In Richards Bay, South Africa, the cargo ship Smart runs aground and snaps in two. The harbour turns chaotic as the ship breaks under the waves' pressure. Rescue teams save the crew, but the sea reminds everyone who's truly in command. The Luno, a Spanish cargo ship, loses engine power during a violent storm near Bayonne, France. Winds hurl it into a breakwater steel bends. Hull tears apart, miraculously. All 12 sailors are airlifted to safety by the French Coast Guard. Mayday. My vessel is broken. The Arvin, caught in freezing storms off the Turkish coast, sinks within minutes. Search and rescue teams fight waves to save lives, a desperate race against time and nature. Off Portugal, a chemical tanker slams into 10-metre waves. Each wall of water threatens to overturn the ship, but the crew's discipline and calm navigation steer it through proof that training saves lives. Anchored near Sri Lanka, the MV Express Pearl erupts in flames. Containers carrying 25 tons of nitric acid explode, spilling chemicals into the ocean. Firefighters battle through toxic smoke across a wounded sea and a burning skyline. tropical cyclone strikes Reunion Island. An oil vessel is pushed ashore, its hull crushed by waves. Fuel leaks threaten the coast, but emergency crews act fast to prevent an environmental catastrophe. In the frozen waters off Chukotka, ice slams into the hull of the Captain Bolsovsky trawler. Cracks spread water floods in. 90 men face death, yet every one of them is rescued. Courage beats the cold. A 12-point storm batters a cargo ship off northern China. Waves tower like cliff steel bends. Radar flickers. The ship vanishes behind spray. Yet the captain holds course. Survival in seconds of control. In the Sargasso Sea, a 12-point Beaufort storm tears through an oil tanker. Decks flood, engines scream, but she refuses to break. When dawn comes, the crew witnesses the ocean's mercy calm after pure destruction. Taiwan. The TS Taipei runs aground after an engine failure, breaking in half. It sinks slowly, a nightmare for the coast. Weeks later, salvage teams lift the wreck piece by piece, a triumph of engineering over ruin. The anthem of the seas, a cruise ship sails straight into Hurricane Hermine. Passengers scream as 30-foot waves slam the hull, despite panic and damage. The vessel endures a floating city that fought a storm and won. Mighty USS Kitty Hawk battles a Pacific tempest near Japan. Waves crush the bow, tearing away safety nets. Even legends of steel must bow to nature, the carrier later retires, her scars telling her tale. Once a proud Navy ship, HMAS Tobruk is scuttled off Queensland. She sinks gracefully, not in defeat, but transformation. Now she rests beneath the sea, reborn as a home for coral and divers. The cargo ship erupts in flames under moonlight. Cars, containers, and decks ignite like paper. By dawn, the ship is gone, a haunting reminder of how fast peace turns to chaos at sea.
จังเลยล่ะ
A NH-90 helicopter hovers above a rocking vessel in a real 10-point storm. Rescuers lower themselves through wind and spray training in the same hell they may one day face. Their courage defines the thin line between life and loss. Between the Atlantic and Pacific, the Drake Strait swallows ships whole. The freighter Red Rose faces waves like moving mountains. Every crash echoes one truth: the sea always wins. Off Norway, a Dutch cargo ship loses control in a hurricane. Oil leaks. Waves rage, crew leap into the Black Ocean as helicopters hover. Each man lifted to safety is a miracle pulled from death's grip. From tugboats to tankers, from storms to flames, every story you've seen is real. Each wave carries a warning: the ocean forgives no mistake. Respect the sea, protect it, because our survival and our future depend on keeping it alive. This is always intense, reminding you: stay safe, stay humble, stay ready for the next wave. We've witnessed steel bend, and waves rise higher than fear itself. But the ocean has more stories deeper, darker, and even harder to believe. In the next chapter, we sail straight into the heart of disaster. Welcome back to Always Intense, where real storms meet real courage. In this episode, we uncover 20 true maritime disasters, moments when steel, sea, and human determination collided. Each wave tells a story of strength, loss, and survival. Spanish cargo ship Luno lost engine power during a storm near the Bay of Biscay. Strong winds drove the vessel toward shore, where it struck a breakwater and split in two. All 12 crew members were rescued by helicopter. amid violent weather, the Arvin, sailing under the Palau flag, broke apart while anchored near Bartin, Turkey. Rescue teams were deployed immediately, but the vessel sank rapidly beneath the waves. In the freezing North Atlantic, an Icelandic rescue team evacuated the crew of the cargo ship Skálva during a severe storm. All members were safely recovered despite hurricane-force winds. On March 16, 2011, the MS Oliva ran aground on Nightingale Island, one of the world's most important bird sanctuaries. The resulting oil spill threatened thousands of seabirds, creating an environmental crisis. At night, a cargo vessel carrying vehicles caught fire in open waters. The blaze spread across multiple decks, completely destroying the ship. The crew managed to escape without injury. The South Korean merchant ship Stella Banner grounded off the Brazilian coast with a large hull breach to prevent ecological damage. Authorities made the decision to scuttle the vessel after evacuation. In South Africa's Richards Bay, the cargo ship Smart ran aground and was torn apart by heavy surf. The ship was declared a total loss, though all crew were safely rescued. The Fedra suffered complete engine failure near Gibraltar during a powerful storm, unable to control the drift. The ship was pushed against the cliffs below Europa Point. Rescue helicopters extracted the remaining crew from the deck.
Incredible footage captured.
The RTS Pioneer, weighing over 70,000 tons, endured extreme conditions in the South China Sea, operating through typhoon zones. It demonstrated the limit of human and mechanical endurance at sea. The Queen Elizabeth cruise ship crossed the Atlantic amid an 11-metre storm, despite powerful waves and strong winds. The vessel maintained stability and completed its voyage. The cargo ship Western lost propulsion during a storm and began to drift. Rescue operations successfully towed the vessel to port under heavy sea conditions. In November 2020, the container ship One Apus lost nearly 2,000 containers during a Pacific storm. It marked the second largest container loss in global shipping history. The incident prompted major reviews of cargo safety procedures. Between South America and Antarctica lies the Drake Passage, one of the world's most dangerous waterways. Ships crossing this region face relentless 50-knot winds and towering waves that challenge every crew. On April 16, 2014, the South Korean ferry MV Sewol sank while en route to Jeju Island. More than 300 passengers, most of them students, lost their lives. It remains one of the darkest maritime disasters of the century. A Dutch cargo vessel caught in a storm off Norway began to sink. Helicopters and lifeboats rescued all 12 crew members in extreme weather conditions. No fatalities were reported.
A moment of carelessness can cost a life. That haunting reality should serve as a wake-up call to us all. Respect their sacrifice and never forget, nature does not forgive
surrounding waters, creating a widespread oil spill that affected local wildlife and ecosystems.
Leap into the freezing sea as rescue boats race in, pulling them from the brink. It's a desperate fight for survival.
An oil tanker encountered Hurricane Sandy, with winds exceeding 50 meters per second. Despite the immense strain, the crew maintained control and avoided a catastrophic spill. The anthem of the seas, cruise ship endured a hurricane in the Atlantic, with winds over 160 kilometers per hour. Interior damage was reported, but the vessel returned safely to port. The event became a case study in modern storm navigation. Every story ends the same way the ocean always wins: respect, safety, awareness, and responsibility. Keep sailors alive and protect our seas. If you believe in learning from real storms and real courage, comment your thoughts and subscribe to Always Intense for more true stories from the deep. Every storm ends, but the next danger begins in silence. When the sea seems calm, that's when collisions happen. Next, we uncover the moments where chaos wasn't born from nature, but from human error. Welcome back to Always Intense, where real storms meet real courage. At sea, danger never gives a warning. A calm horizon can turn deadly in seconds. All it takes is one storm, one failure, or one mistake. Today, we bring you real moments when steel clashed with chaos, and survival hung by a thread. Let's begin. Two of the world's most expensive yachts, Spear and Topaz, collide moments before the super yacht competition begins. The crowd gasps as luxury turns to wreckage in an instant, even in the world of billion-dollar beauty. One wrong move costs millions. In the frozen North Pacific, 3 Alaskan trawlers crash in chaos. A falling mast misses a fisherman by inches, a miracle caught on camera. In the silence after, only gratitude remains. A speeding vessel charges straight toward a small fishing boat. The fishermen jump into the sea just seconds before impact a decision that saves their lives. Instinct triumphs over panic. A massive tanker faces waves as high as buildings. The deck disappears beneath roaring water, yet the ship powers on, defying nature's assault. Some victories at sea are simply survival itself. A cargo boat, struck by a barge, sinks silently beneath calm waters. No warning, no time, only chaos. The crew escapes, shaken but alive. Leaving behind a haunting reminder, calm doesn't mean safe. A 235-foot super yacht worth $65 million slams into a dock after a sudden computer malfunction. Steel groans. Alarms blare, a masterpiece undone by one technical glitch. At sea, perfection is an illusion. The luxury yacht Extasia collides with the Simpson Bay Bridge. Tourists record in disbelief as the control tower shakes under the impact. Power, precision, prestige, all humbled by one wrong turn. A sand dredger rams into a tanker, sending shockwaves through the harbour. Water churns as steel folds under the impact. No lives lost, but a sharp reminder that even routine manoeuvres can turn catastrophic. Hijacks a motorboat and goes on a reckless spree, smashing into yachts worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Chaos reigns until the Coast Guard brings him down. In the end, the damage isn't just metal, it's madness. A steel cable under extreme tension snaps without warning. The force launches a bundle of iron across the deck like a missile. It's a terrifying lesson sometimes. Danger hides in silence. Off Scotland's rugged coast, a ship fights brutal waves that toss it like a toy. Crew members cling to survival as nature unleashes its fury. When the storm passes, respect for the sea grows deeper than fear. Two massive coal carriers crash in open waters, their hulls grinding thunderous force. Sparks, shouts, and a cloud of smoke fill the air. Moments later, only the sound of waves remains the price of one navigational error. In Ecuador, the Ocean Dragon 999 loses control and slams into a pedestrian bridge. crowds watch helplessly as steel bends and debris rains down. One wrong maneuver turns routine docking into disaster. After hours of struggle, rescuers finally free the stranded vessel. Judy, cheers erupt, but celebration turns to horror when the ship veers into rocks and capsizes. The ocean doesn't forgive premature victory. Off New Hampshire, a whale breaches beneath a small fishing boat, flipping it upside down, with fishermen surface, shocked but alive. Even nature's gentlest giants can remind us who truly rules the sea. Tourists aboard speedboats in Thailand scream as a sudden storm engulfs them. Waves slam against the hulls, tossing passengers into panic. Yet skilled captains steer them home, courage keeping chaos at bay. In South Korea, a Russian vessel crashes into the Gwangan Bridge, then attempts to flee. Authorities intercept it within minutes. You can run from the coast, but not from consequence. October 6th, 2014, the Kronenborg supply ship is launched in the Netherlands. Moments after release, it crashes into the dock during testing. A high-tech marvel meets a harsh truth at sea. Precision means everything. From super yachts and storms to whales and volcanoes, every story leads to one truth: the ocean gives. And the ocean takes. Ships can be repaired, but lives and ecosystems cannot. Sail with respect. Protect our waters. Because out here, strength means harmony, not control. This is Always Intense, where real stories meet real courage. Subscribe for more stories from the edge of the ocean. We've seen billion-dollar ships fall and legends break. But the sea isn't just about tragedy. It's about lessons caught in seconds of chaos. Now, let's slow down and watch the moments that changed everything. Welcome back to Always Intense, where real footage shows how fast things can go wrong at sea. A calm moment can turn into chaos in seconds. Let's take a look at some unbelievable maritime moments caught on camera. This boat speeds out of the marina, but the captain pushes the throttle too far. The vessel lifts, loses balance, and veers off course. Luckily, everyone aboard escapes without injury. Two ships entered a narrow passage, neither giving way. A violent impact tore through the hulls. Sparks ignited a small engine fire. Severe damage, all caused by one missed signal. A large vessel suddenly loses steering near the dock. It slams into several moored boats before hitting the shoreline. No one is hurt, but several smaller boats are damaged.
Stopping in time as it was docking, some passengers were taken off in stretchers and had to be taken to the hospital. None of the injuries are reportedly life-threatening.
Spectators stand only meters away from a new ship launch. As the hull hits the water, a massive wave surges toward them. They all get soaked, fortunately, without injuries. A speedboat races too close to shore and ends up sliding across dry sand. A shocking sight. But the driver is unhurt. It's a reminder that judgment matters as much as skill. A man jumps in to stop a boat that's drifting away, but the engine's still running, and the boat drags him into the water. He's fine, just cold and soaked, but it could have ended badly. A driver forgets to unlock the trailer before backing into the ramp. The entire truck rolls into the water. It's an expensive mistake that happens more often than you'd think. A cargo ship approaches slowly but misjudges its distance. It drifts into a crane barge with a loud crash. Thankfully, the impact is minor and no one is injured. The captain reportedly fell asleep for only a few minutes. In that time, the vessel drifted off course and struck the pier. It's a good reminder that fatigue at sea can be just as dangerous as bad weather. This icebreaker pushes through thick Arctic ice. It's not a malfunction, just incredible footage of how powerfully these ships operate. An anchor drop goes wrong when the chain jams mid-release. Crew members rush to control it as tension builds. The situation is brought under control, but it shows how quickly routine work can turn risky. In Iwoki, Japan, a massive ship was thrown inland by the 2011 tsunami. Half on land, half in the sea. It stayed that way for months. A powerful reminder of nature's strength. A boat moves across the road with a car towing it like a trailer. Unusual, but it works. Proof that creativity at sea sometimes extends onto land. During a dock maneuver, a hydraulic hose bursts and the boat starts to sink at the stern. Quick thinking saves it. Driving the truck in prevents a total loss. Still, a costly mistake. A sailboat loses control and drifts directly into another vessel. The impact causes minor damage. Both crews are safe, just shaken. A coal barge strikes a large ship and begins taking on water within minutes. The deck tilts and the vessel sinks. No casualties. But the barge is lost. Near Colombo, a cargo ship carrying chemicals catches fire and burns for several days. The Navy intervenes to contain the flames and prevent pollution. It's one of the most serious maritime incidents in the region. At a busy port, a container drops from a crane and slams onto the dock. Workers scatter, but no one is injured. Incidents like this highlight the risks of heavy cargo operations. Every clip you've seen today shows one truth at sea. Small mistakes lead to big consequences. Safety, awareness, and respect for nature must come first. Protect your crew, protect your ship, and protect the ocean. It's the only one we have. This is Always Intense. Thanks for watching. You've seen mistakes, rescues, and chaos, but now comes the ocean unleashed. From calm waters to nature's pure rage, this is where humanity meets its limit. Welcome to Sea Fury. Hey everyone, welcome back to Always Intense, where calm seas can turn wild in seconds, from raging storms to crushing collisions. Today, we dive deep into the real chaos caught on camera. Let's begin. At first, it looked like a minor collision, but the impact tore through the bow of the Syneon and Lu, leaving the steel twisted and bent. Luckily, no injuries were reported, just a hard reminder that even small crashes at sea are never truly small. Nature's fury, unleashed. A massive tsunami sweeps across Japan's coast ships, and cars tossed aside like toys. A force beyond imagination, and a reminder that the ocean July 1st, 2013, the Perro Negro. 6 oil rig collapses off Angola's coast after a seabed failure. the platform tilts, floods, and sinks into the deep. A haunting image of how fragile even the strongest engineering can be out at sea. In Hunan, China, a ferry was caught in a raging current. Spectators watched helplessly as it slammed into a dam and sank beneath the surface. Thankfully, it was empty, or this story could have been much darker. Bridges open for giants of the sea, but sometimes small boats find themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. One mistake, one moment, and the result is chaos. A driver ties his truck to the wrong rope, and the moment the boat moves, disaster strikes. The truck gets dragged straight into the water. Lesson learned: never underestimate the power of a single knot. In Hungary, a police vessel collides with a cable ferry mid-river. The sudden impact flips the boat within seconds, a terrifying scene that shows how fast control can be lost. A small fishing boat battles fierce waves near shore, every swell threatening to capsize it. Just one bad move, and the ocean would have claimed another. Skill, timing, and courage, the crew had them all. A peaceful day of fishing turns to panic when another vessel speeds past, missing by mere feet. That close call could have ended very differently. Out here, even a second's distraction is too much. At Seabard Marine, a crane lifting containers suddenly collapses. Metal crashes. Containers fall, yet somehow. Everyone walks away unhurt. A moment frozen in shock. And pure luck. In just 10 seconds, the Francis Scott Key Bridge in the US fell after being struck by a cargo ship. The scene looked unreal, but it was very real, miraculously. Few were hurt. The potential loss could have been unimaginable. Strong coastal waves hammer small fishing boats, tossing them like leaves. Each rise and fall is a fight for balance. That's the ocean, no mercy. No second chances. Two vessels collide mid-river. Panic spreads, but brave crews turn chaos into rescue. In the heart of danger, courage shines brightest. A single battery exposed to saltwater sets off a chain reaction. Fire engulfs a cargo hold, wiping out every vehicle aboard. The smallest error can cost millions or lives. A luxury yacht off Miami Beach starts to list dangerously. 32 passengers on board panic rising as water floods in. Thankfully, every single person was rescued in time. At the Colombo anchorage in Sri Lanka, flames erupt on a cargo ship. Fire and smoke consume the deck, and yet, firefighters battle it head-on. When things go wrong at sea, seconds count. In icy southern waters, a Japanese whaling vessel collides with the Sea Shepherd ship AI Gill. The tension is real, the clash intense, a reminder that even missions with purpose can cross dangerous lines. A vessel launch goes wrong. A total design failure sends it crashing sideways. Moments later, Applause breaks out, almost surreal. And then, a $10 million azimuth yacht slams into a dock, an expensive day no one will forget. February 22nd, 2024, a cargo ship strikes a bridge in Guangzhou, sending cars plunging into the river. Another reminder that the sea always demands respect. Stay safe, respect the ocean, and keep your eyes open out there. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment, hit like, and subscribe to Always Intense for more unbelievable moments at sea.